Hey everyone, Nick Como here, co-founder of aiquery.io, coming at you with yet another quick use case video. If you've not seen the previous, please check out our YouTube channel, but let's dive right on in. Today we're going to be talking about schedules and query packs. If you're familiar with OS Query, you know this is not something that we invented. This is a capability of OS Query. Rather, what we do is kind of provide the UI and workflow a little bit to try and simplify it. So, query packs. What are query packs? So query packs are thematically correlated sets of queries that you run concurrently on a device. Think of it this way. So if you're trying to audit for hygiene or hardening in your environment, right? It's just one minor example. One query isn't going to paint the full picture. So maybe you need, 5 or 6 queries looking at different aspects of hygiene and hardening, and altogether that will paint the picture we're looking for. So that's really what a query pack entails. So let's walk through kind of our workflow of how exactly you'd set it up and where it's applicable. So first here we have the create query pack page, as you can see. So it's got target agents. So you can select an agent. You don't have to. It's actually not required. The reason for that is if you want to pre-make multiple query packs to use in any given circumstance, you can just create the query pack, save it, and then not have to actually select the agents until you decide to run that query pack in the future. Very helpful for a team dynamic if you're trying to go ahead, craft some, say, hey, in this situation, do this, or potentially SOAR orchestration. If you see XYZ indicator happening within your SIM coming from your network or endpoint tool, trigger ABC query pack. So agents optional but not required. Then a title that is required. We'll just do my first query pack. And then description, not required but highly recommended. This is an example so that you know when you're going back and referencing it. We hit next and we move on to our next section here, which is adding in queries. Very similar to our create query page from the prior videos if you're familiar. But basically here, you can input manually of select star from users. It'd help if I typed correctly. And then we can just say users. If we wanted to, we can add another query. We can do use preset, and we can just grab an out of the box query. Let's say, potential art poisoning. There's a cool one there. And continue down this list. But one other option, which I want to show you, we'll take a step back here. Instead of utilizing queries that we create by ourselves, let's use some out-of-the-box query presets, query pack presets, excuse me. So this could, still hold up if you made this beforehand. This is exactly how somebody could utilize it. So let's go to some of the out of the box, and what we'll do is let's do hygiene and hardening on Windows. We can see there are multiple different queries here. We're going to select this query pack preset, and once again, we'll go to the next page, except this time let's just pick an agent. Let's just stick it on our EC2 Windows server. And then here we can see all the queries encompassing this query pack. We can drop it down if we wanted to inspect each one, if we wanted to edit. So for instance, like let's say, we didn't want to do BitLocker protection. We could always remove that very simply. And we could add in any additional query we want. Let's just, again, select star from users. Users, obviously it's a very basic query, but just for the sake of the video. Then we'll hit preview, and that will bring us to our final step where we'll see everything. We want to just confirm whether we want to submit this now or whether we want to save it for the future, or perhaps schedule it. So we'll circle back to scheduling in just a moment, but let's go ahead and submit this. Excellent. So we can pop over and see the results. But let's talk about scheduling for a second. So one thing that I particularly find useful with query packs, and this goes true for individual queries as well, but with query packs, maybe you do have a hardening and hygiene audit you want to run every Monday, morning before you come in, grab your cup of coffee, you can view the results. So what we can do here is we can click recurring, we can do cron based, and we can say Monday, and then we'll do a start time. Let's make this in the morning. We'll do 7:45 a.m. And there you go. So specify time zone, it defaults to your current time zone. And then we can have an end date. So let's just run this for a month, just for example, and we'll go ahead and we'll create. Oh, sorry, it can't be set in the past. So we'll start it next Monday. So perfect. Now we've created the schedule. And if we go on over, we can click see results. And we have the schedule right here. We can see the time, the start date, the end time, the end date, number of targets, et cetera, and we can take various actions. If we click in, we won't see anything, right, because it has not run. So I do have this example right below, same exact query pack that I do have run on a schedule. It's a little bit more frequent, so we can show some results. And here we can see we have the overview of the query pack, the number of queries in it, a little bit more information of when it was created. And then if we click in one further, we have the results of the individual queries within that query pack. So here we can see, if we wanted to, we can look at the PowerShell execution policy for that machine. We can see verbal Kint. If you look at our prior videos, he's kind of a bad actor there, Kaiser Sose, for those like 17 of you that understand that. Um, and we can see that PowerShell execution policy is unrestricted and various different audits of that nature. So query pack's incredibly useful because you can get bulk information of data, have it categorized and organized in its own section. So you can see all thematically correlated queries right here. As you can see, this looks very much like our actual overall view query results, but these are just kind of one-offs in how they're run, as opposed to having those all consolidated in one location, which view query pack results is if you ran it one time, and the schedules is what we're looking at right there of having it run on a recurring schedule. So query pack's incredibly useful tool, scheduling, incredibly useful tool together become even more useful, trying to just minimize the amount of admin overhead required to get the most out of your data. So the use cases for this, again, are boundless. I just use the one example of just kind of a weekly audit of devices. This can be used, again, for something like in incident response investigation, have a query pack for incident response. Then if XYZ triggers within your endpoint or network tool, run that query pack, things like that to provide that context, all very low touch, but still trying to get the most quality and data out of it. So quick, simple use case. Wanted to walk through that. Hopefully that was helpful. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.